Okay, great. We are live now, and just wait for a little bit more so that the participants can join in. Once we have quite a handful of number, then we will start. While I'm waiting, I'm just going to check my mic is all right. Thank you for joining in. Just wait for a few more minutes. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining in today's training, where we shall be learning how to keep our families safe online. Just wait for a few more to join in, then we'll start. We'll start at exactly 4 or 5. While we wait for, please bear with us and stay online. All right, let me get my slides up and running. Okay, we have 2 more minutes, then we are starting. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Okay, we have 1 more minute, 60 seconds, then we are starting. Thank you all once again. And I hope I'm audible enough. Bring the screen closer to me. We have 1 minute left, less than 60 seconds, then we are starting. Thank you all once again. We are starting just right now. All right. I believe it's time. Okay, let me get my slides ready. Okay, welcome everyone to today's training. We are going to be learning Sorry, let me get my mic on. Apologies for that. I'm trying to, yes, get it started. All right, we're here and we're starting. Thank you all for joining in. And we are starting. Okay, once again, my name is Chidima Ude. I work with the Public and Private Development Center. And for today's training, I'm going to be your trainer. And just a little bit of exercise. Can you just type in the chat box, just introduce yourself and what state you are listening from? Just your name and the states. It will help me know that everyone can hear me. So just your name or just hi, I'm listening from ABC State, and that would help a lot. So as we are getting on doing that, I just want to assure everyone that today's section, there's going to be a lot of discussion, and we think you can learn from each other's experience. So hang on there. Just a hi and where we are listening from would be nice. Who is taking the lead? Who is taking the lead? Can everyone hear me? Oh, seems like. Okay, great. Thank you, Helen. Thank you very much. This helps a lot. Hi, Helen from Enugu. Thank you so much for joining in. We really appreciate. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. We really, really appreciate. So, okay, at least Helen hears me. That means every other person can hear me as well. Hi, Tosin from Abuja. Hi. All right, let's get started. Let's discuss the challenges on parenting in digital age. Modern kids have never known a time when they couldn't connect to the entire world via the internet. In fact, they probably spend more time online than anyone else, certainly more than you. Yes, more than you, the parents. Let's dive in and help us as parents better understand the landscape. Okay. Okay, my slide is all right. So ask yourself, I'm asking everyone now, how old do you think you were when you got hold of this kind of technology? How old do you think you were, or when did you start using technology? Well, for kids, the internet is becoming a part of their growing up. Children being the fastest adopters of this technology between the ages of 15 to 24 years old typically outnumber the overall online population. The global proportion of young people aged 15 and 24 using the internet is about 71% and is significantly higher than the population of the total population using the internet, which is like about 48%. The internet is becoming more and more prevalent in the daily lives of our children, and our own children will be online from an early age. That's it. Our children will be online from an early age. We can limit how often, but it will happen. We can limit how often they go there, but it will happen. The children of today are growing up in a very different world compared to our own generation. Things move quick in our connected world. Most parents feel they know what things are doing online, but things don't think so. So, what do you think children actually do online? I want to see some answers, some responses in the chat box. What do you think children actually do online? Do you feel they have complete like complete handle on what they are doing? How do you monitor what they are doing? What do you feel? What do you think children actually do online? Can I get some responses to be nice? Chat box, just this tiny question. What do you think? What do you think children do online? Okay, are we still there? There's no wrong or right answer here. So, what do you think children do online? Okay, so many of you will have a firm grip on what your children are doing online, but here are a few examples of what they might be doing. What they might be doing. Here are a few examples. Let's see. So the children of today are growing up in a very different world compared to our generation. Like I said earlier, many of you will have a grip on what your children are doing online. So thank you. Yes, thank you. They watch videos, of course. They watch videos, they chat with their friends and their family. They do homework. Yes. When they are being given an assignment at home, they do research, they play games. Yes, thank you. Tosin, they play games, they chat. Those are some of the few things that they do online. So the digital technology has become a fundamental part of children's lives. Your children need to understand this same principle applies online. Although there are tendencies to limit access to technology, it can be amazingly like can be an amazing force for good. That's true. But yes, thank you, Mike. They watch videos. Thank you, Mike. So let's dive into it. Another exercise. What are the biggest concern you face in keeping your children safe online? Like when you give them that device and you want them to use it, what are the biggest challenge that you face in keeping your children safe online? When you are not there, when you're at work and you know they are online, what are the biggest challenge that you face in keeping them safe online? So I'm waiting for if there are answers or responses to this question. So I'm sure you people face things like screen time, controlling what content that they see, even the kind of game that they play, and even the way they interact with the other player. I'm sure those are some of the challenges and concerns that you feel that you face in keeping your children online. It's great to see we all got some like similar concerns. You know, you hear people say, okay, when I give my kids this device or I get back from work and they collect my phone, I'm worried with the kind of content that they access, the kind of game they play, the kind of app that they are downloading. These are quite some similar challenges that most parents face. So you are not alone. That's what you should know. You are not alone. Many more parents share the same worries as well. And you hear things like parents saying that things like parents need to be more involved, engaged, and educated, which is true because the more parents are educated, the better they will know how to keep their kids online. So you get responses like these. People can pretend to be anyone online. Of course, we all know that people can pretend to be anyone online. So with so many concerns out there, this section will offer some tips on how to positively approach this. But the internet is a vast place, right? Yes. And while some parents may approach these concerns by restricting or limiting access to the internet, it might not be the best approach. That's just the honest truth. It might not be the best approach because restriction, no, it's not the best approach. Parents often forget Parents often forget the positive side to technology and they should embrace and reinforce it. We want to embrace the opportunities available for kids out there to use technology. You can get access to a wealth of information for learning, homework. There are also a lot of interactive tools, games that can aid learning. Where to find opportunities for work, from starting a blog to following your favorite artists on Instagram. However, the internet remains a complex place which was not built intentionally for children and is not as regulated as other children's service. So you have to bear that in mind. So in this training section, we are going to be looking at these three, and this is the agenda for this training section. We are going to be learning how to safeguard our family by setting digital ground rules for our family, discovering and managing family-friendly content, and of course, protecting your family's online privacy security. So these are the three things we are going to be tackling in this section. So the first one, setting digital ground rules. Every family is different, and therefore the limitation, restrictions, and guidelines you want your family to live their digital life should be up to each individual family. Setting ground rules can help you enjoy the best of the internet, while understanding that there is a limit where the good of the internet can become a negative impact if abused and overused. Have to bear that in mind. So I ask again, what kind of ground rules do you currently set for your family online, if there are any? What kind of ground rules do you currently set for your families online? Are there any ground rules that you currently set for your families? If there are, let's share. Like I said, we are going to be learning from each other, even as I train everyone. Are there current ground rules that you set, that you set, or you're anticipating to set for your family online? Are there any? Okay, I'm still waiting. All right. Are there any? Okay, so let's dive into it. So there are three main activities we recommend setting ground rules around. This includes screen time, the kind of information you share, and the way you behave online. We'll go into more depth and on each of these topics. We're going to go into more depth in each of them. So now, how do you currently approach screen time with your children? Are you good with screen time yourself? Like, how do you currently approach screen time? Even as a parent, are you even, okay, let me even start. As a parent, are you good with screen time yourself? Yes or no? Let me see it in the chat box. It's just a yes or no. Are you good with screen time yourself? Because it's only if you are good and familiar with how screen time yourself and how to use it will you be able to actually help out your children. So as a parent, are you good with screen time yourself? And even if you are not good, and you how do you currently, like, how do you want to approach screen time with your kids? Okay, so balancing screen time, positive. The positive aspects of balancing screens, and they have the positive and the negative aspects. So for the positive aspect, of course, complete homework, search for information online, and in some school, complete and submit homework remotely. We all know about that. Of course, connect with friends and family, keep in touch, share what's happening. But then there are downsides to it. It effect of screen time on sleep. There's a great effect of screen time on sleep. Sleep cycles are affected by the blue light from screen, tricking our brain into thinking that it is still daylight, making it difficult to sleep. That's why when a child holds their tablet, they can use it the entire night without falling asleep, because the brain is recognizing the blue light coming out from the screen as if it's still daylight. And then it also could encourage antisocial behavior and health issues. There are concerns that children are spending less time outdoors and with peers because they are always on their device. Not all online activities are created equal. Take the time to assess how particular activities that your child is doing can help or hinder their development as they grow. What kind of activity would you like to limit your child's time on? What kind of activities will you like to see your child do more of? Or do your children show a tendency towards any particular app or programs? How much time your child should spend using their device is up to you, but there are ways to help set limits when you want to. There are ways to do that. We are extra positive when it comes to families. So we take care of our youngest users by providing parents with the best support to help their children enjoy quality content that parents feel good about. So, introducing Family Link, I'm going to talk about this awesome app that provides solution for managing screen time and app time. So now, to set up Family Link, you will need to create a Google account for your child. So the great thing about Family Link is that it helps you control and supervise your child's online activity and device usage anywhere you are, whether you're at work, whether you traveled, even while you are still in the same house with them but in different rooms, you are still 100% in charge of their device and in charge of the kind of content that they are accessing online. That's why I love this app. This app solves the problem. So now to set up Family Link, you will need to create a Google account for your child or family member. If your child is under 13, Google will prompt you to link your email account with theirs. Then you have to follow the prompt to accept terms and conditions. Then download the family link for children. So on their own device, you download the family link for children. On your own device, you download the family link for family. And then for children, once you download, you follow through the process and accept the terms and the condition. The child will then be asked to sign in with their Google account. So, what do Family Link help us to do? Family Link helps us to manage the app your kids use. It also temporarily locks your child's device at different times of the day. Set screen time limits, lock your child's device remotely, manage their device or hide specific apps whenever it's time to play, time to study, or time to sleep. For instance, when it's bedtime, it will help you set a bedtime routine to lock your child's phone while they sleep. And then when it's homework or dinner time, it will help you lock the device immediately so they can focus on other activities like studying or spending quality time with family. You might decide the right amount of screen time for your child depends on what they are watching, playing, or learning. So use Family Link app activity reports. There's also an activity report that comes with the app to see which apps your children is using the most. It's very, very important. So now, here are some extra things to consider when setting limits around screen time. Set limits that can change over time. So set rules for your children's accounts, such as content filters and time limits, and let your children know that these may change as they get old. So please, please, please don't set and then forget. As they grow and evolve, you need to also reset the screen time. Keep an eye on usage. You might decide the right amount of screen time for your child depends on what they are watching, playing, or learning. Use Family Link app activity report to see which apps your child is using the most. Then, of course, support quality time online. More experts suggest that we should focus more on what children are doing online and less on how long they are online. Encourage them to engage with games, encourage them to engage with apps that teach them creativity or problem solving skills. So now, how do you talk to your children about screen time? Because you cannot just take their gadgets and then you are imposing the rules on them. Then that's you instilling fear in them. So how would you talk to your children about screen time? How do you think you can talk to your children about screen time? So any response, any idea on how you think you can talk to your children about screen time? You can type it in the chat box. Like how to allow time for homework, and not social media, how to keep positive relationship with screen? Like, talk how would you talk with your child about screen time? Or what would you do if your child only wants to spend time online? There are kids like that, like they will want their device, their phone, because they want to play game and just be online. How would you talk to them about it? So, of course, it's important for children to know and understand why finding screen time balance is important. For that reason, we would like to suggest using these three discussion points for talking about screen time with your children. So we have these three discussion points. Does technology ever prevent you from being present? You could ask them that. To begin, talk about how device can sometimes cause people to miss out on things that matter to them. Touch on times when you weren't fully there for a particular moment because you were on your phone, and then ask your kids if they have observed others not being fully present with their people around them. Have your kids also experience a time when maybe they were distracted from an important moment because of technology. How did they feel about it afterwards? Were they on a particular app or game when it happened? And have they noticed a pattern in their own activity? Now, how does screen time, why does it matter? What are the times and places your family feels is important to be focused? Is it during homework or while spending time with one another? Talk about how to approach technology during these times when you want to teach, when you want to keep your attention on a task. Reflect on what balance feels like, not only for your kids, but for the whole family. Then then also look to and apply the concepts to time and places throughout the day. So it's very, very important. Now, the digital age has made it super, super easy to share information online, as we are able to connect with our friends and our families through our mobile phone and also social media platforms, right? However, with this accessibility comes consequences. That's just the honest truth. With the accessibility comes consequences. Can you think of any negative consequences to the freedom of expression sharing online has given children? Do you have any consequences to the freedom of expression sharing online has given children? Can you think of any? If you can think of any, just type it in the chat box if you can think of any. So there are things like invasion of privacy, social comparison, and of course, digital footprints, right? Yeah. Now, here are some discussion points we recommend for talking to your family about the consequences of sharing too much online. The first one is teach them about digital footprints. Together with your children, search online for yourself or any musician that they love. Excuse me, and talk about what you find. You may want to check the results in advance. Talk about what others can learn up from them. And then, of course, the second one, help minimize social comparison. Make sure that your child knows that what friends share online is just one part of the whole story. And it's usually the highlights because people only shows you the good parts, right? Remind them that everyone also has boring, sad, and embarrassing moments that they don't share. Yes, people don't share their boring and embarrassing moments online. Just the highlights, that's all they share online. So it's very important that you inform your kids about this. Then of course teach them about oversharing. Brainstorm solutions for oversharing, such as taking down like what was shared or fixing privacy settings. Of course, establish your family values online around harassment and bullying. Talk about the meaning behind someone's words and encourage positivity. Talk about tone of voice and remind your child that it's easy to misinterpret someone's meaning online. It's very, very easy. Then encourage them to assume good intent and talk to friends directly if they're unclear about someone's meaning. A better internet, one free of bullying, division, hate, and crime. It isn't just an inspiration, it's truly possible. This is something that truly we can achieve. And it starts with an individual, It starts with you, it starts with me, it starts with the next generation of users we are raising up. And also, Google has built useful guides to support families. So, the digital age has made it super easy to share information online, and we're about to connect with friends and families, like I said earlier, through what? Mobiles and also social media apps. So let's dive in. Establish family values. So how do you establish family values online? You have to be clear about how you expect them to act online. Be clear. Tell them the way they act offline is also the same way they should also act online. The way they respect people's view and opinion offline is the same way they should also respect people's view and opinion online. Talk to them, be clear about it. Talk about online harassment. Tell them, like I said earlier, that people's opinion about them does not define who they are. Let them know that people only show the highlights of themselves, and in order to, sometimes even in order to make people feel bad. So talk to them about online harassment. Talk about power of positivity, positive messaging online. Talk about it. The way they give people good compliments offline is also the same way they should do the same online. So now I'm going to pause for like 3 minutes and take in questions for now from all that we've learned, setting digital ground rules and screen time, about the family app link. If you have any question with respect to what we've learned so far, please put it in the in chat box, and then my co about it. So at this moment, if there are any other questions, you can type it in and then we'll address it now. Any question we've learned about digital ground rules, setting screen time? Any question? Any question? Are there any question at this moment? Okay, all right. In the absence of no questions at the moment, let's continue. So now we are going to be diving into the second agenda. Remember, we have three of them. We are going to be diving into the second one: discover family-friendly content. So now, how do children use the internet? Let me start from there. How do you think children use the internet? What kind of apps do they use, and what kind of content do they consume? Have you ever asked yourself that? How they use it? And if you know, please, we would like to see how do children use the internet? Okay, there's a question. What if the child already have a Google account? Now you can't use their, you have to create a one, you have to create one for them. Remember, they can only use Google accounts. Kids from 13 and above can only use Google account, right? So when they are 13 and below, you have to create one for them, because that's the one that you have access to and that you can monitor. Thank you for that question, Iduma. All right, so moving on. Many of these they come across like many of these that they come across, it will depend on your child's age and maturity level. Get a sense of which of these are most worrying to parents, and like and do do they also ask yourself, do they also currently monitor if their children has come across this? Now, we know kids will be kids. We know that kids would definitely will be kids. And because they are naturally curious, but there are many technical tools and parental tools that you can use to filter content and sites. And let's look at some approaches that can help. Let's look at some approaches that can help. Like we mentioned earlier, family link, family friendly content. Family link provides a comprehensive set of features for finding and managing family friendly content. Remember, we are talking about family friendly content. It also helps set content restriction in the Google Play through family link. It also blacklists or whitelists specific websites. It sets filter for web browsing, and it turns safe search on and off with family link. So it's say this family link, it's an amazing app. If getting parental control coverage installed on each of your family's devices starts to seem too difficult, then just consider the features available through your broadband providers, because at times it hinders and prevents it from some of the features from functioning properly. So if you are using the Google Chrome browser available as a free download, there's a feature that lets you create different account profile for supervised users and also managers, then giving you complete control of how your children use the internet. Of course, Safari has built-in restriction settings that you can activate to block adult content. Firefox also has varying parent control that you can also activate. So make sure that you activate all of those, because it's not only about their device, they also make use of your own device. So you can go on one step further on certain websites and internet platforms such as Google, YouTube, and iTunes. You can switch on the family friendly filter that should identify and filter out potentially mature content. Once again, there are no flawless system. We all know that there are no flawless systems. So it makes sense to use this alongside other parental controls. So Google search is one of the primary parental control option offered by Google to help parents police search results. Safe search helps to filter mature and potentially explicit content out of search results. It's very, very important that you turn on the safe search. Very, very important. Very, very important. As you can see here, make sure that once you turn on this, just go to safe search setting, turn it on, and make sure that you click the save button so that you are sure that the safe search is on. Now, YouTube restriction mode. YouTube's community guidelines include guides on nudity and also on sexual content, hateful content, harmful and dangerous content, and violent and graphic content. Now, why YouTube work hard to ensure all videos meet their community guidelines, because they have to meet their community guidelines due to high volume of content always being uploaded to the site each and every day. There's a risk that some videos will break these guidelines and still be available to view. Additionally, just because something is acceptable under the guideline doesn't mean it's automatically appropriate for users of all age. That's also, like we said earlier, there are no flawless system. No, none at all. So let me introduce you to YouTube Kids. YouTube Kids is an amazing app. Like the way you have your normal YouTube, there's also YouTube Kids, and a specialized video app. The app is tailored towards children with specially curated content, parental controls, and filtering. YouTube Kids is the first Google product built in from the ground up with kids and family in mind. So when they were designing this app, they had kids and family in mind. And of course, the content is generated by YouTube creators, but uses the power of Google system just to try to filter out content that may not be appropriate for kids. And of course, to learn more about the options for parental control, you can just visit www.youtube.com/kids/ the link for access. Now, another amazing app. Remember, we've talked about Family Link app, we've talked about YouTube Kids. Now we're going to talk about Read Along. Read Along is an Android app developed to aid kids in primary school learn to read confidently. They have to learn to read confidently, and that's what this app is all about. Anytime, anywhere, using their own voice. So they are not just listening, they are using their own voice to learn how to read. It is a speech-based reading app that encourages children to read aloud, just the way they naturally do, like making it an engaging way to learn to read. Read Along uses Google's existing speech recognition and text-to-speech technology that powers the Google Assistant to serve as a personalized reading tutor for kids. And the helpful in-app also, like, powered reading body called DIA. So DIA is a powered reading body, and it encourages your kids by providing positive reinforcement when they read correctly and helps them out by giving suggestion when they don't. So there are some benefits of read aloud, which are independent reading with friendly assistants like Dia. I'll talk more about Dia. Global collection of stories, playful reading, get better every day, personalized profiles, learn without profiles. So the amazing thing about Read Along app is that once it's been downloaded, you can use it without profiles. So no worries about data consumption. And of course, privacy and security. It's private and it's secure. Now, like I said earlier, Dear is an expressive animated reading assistant that can read the entire sentence, highlighting each word as it reads so that the child can follow along. So as children read along, Dear detects if a child is struggling with a passage of text and is able to provide positive reinforcement um, or help for the child. And also, then it will read a sentence or pronounce a word they don't know and understand. Users can tap on any word to hear it pronounced. When they practice reading a word, the app will show them if the word was read correctly by making it green. So once it's been highlighted green, then you know that you read it out correctly. And then, of course, the app track and the progress on the sentence and proactively offers support if it detects that the user is struggling. Read Along offers 100 stories per language with recommendation. There are books that can be downloaded and be read offline. So once you download it, you can now read it offline. So no worries about data consumption. And of course, Google Read Along, like I said earlier, it's free. It's a free offline speech-based reading app with one-on-one assistant help kids, and it's for primary school kids. So get on, download it. I'll get my colleague Magnus to put the link for the read along so that you help yourself download. It will help your kids have fun while improving their reading skills. It's very important, using the magic of their own voice. So that's the beauty of this read along, their own voice. Now, another question: how do you protect your family from negative content? Like, how do you think you can protect your family from negative content? Let's see it on the chat box. Let's see it on the chat box. How do you protect your kids from negative content? How do you protect your kids from negative content? So, you might want to start a conversation. Talk to your child about what they might find on the internet. Help them understand that sometimes they may come across things that they would prefer not to see and that might upset them. Then encourage them to come and talk to you about it. They need to be confident and trust you enough to come and talk to you about whatsoever they see online that makes them feel uncomfortable. Now, that's the first one, right? Start a conversation. Secondly, think before you click. Help your child understand that clicking on pop-ups, even us adults and parents, we make these mistakes. Clicking on pop-ups or links in unsolicited emails that offer things that are too good to be true may end up in them accessing content they didn't intend to see. So teach them to ignore pop-ups. Period. They should just ignore pop-ups. Then supervise if you can. Supervise. Maybe ideal for younger children, more like much younger children. Of course, Family Link app is there to also help. If you can try and be in the same room as your child when they are online, that way you can keep an eye out if like to know what kind of content that they are accessing. Yeah, we are done with the second agenda. Now, is there any question before we move on? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Okay, can it be linked or we have to create another? Okay, sorry, it can't be linked. You have to create another one. You can't link it. You have to create another one for them. And also for each and every child, you have to create a new account for each and every child, because especially when they have different devices. That way you will monitor what each child is doing. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Okay, any other question? Any other question? All right, in the absence of no questions yet, I assume, let's continue. I'm sure questions will come as we progress. Now, we're going to discuss how to protect your family's security and privacy. So before we start off with this, remember how to protect your family's security and what? Privacy. So before we start, what is the most popular social media platform for kids? I want everyone to type in, go to the chat box. We all know this. What is the most popular social media platform for kids? Please, I want to get answers for this particular question. Let's roll in the answers. Go to the chat box and type in the answer. What is the most popular social media platform for kids? What is the most popular social media platform for kids? What is the most popular social media platform for kids? Let's get the answers rolling in. Come on. I hope everyone can still hear me. I need a response at least from a parent to be sure that you all are with me. I need a response. Thank you. Thank you. Family Link, it's very good when they post things online, like on Facebook. Exactly. Thank you, Raymond, Joycey. TikTok. Yes. TikTok, Snapchat. Yes. Yes. Yes, thank you, Julie, for that. Yes, Family Link, it's an awesome app. Like it gives you, it keeps you in charge and in control of their online activity. And if you want them to sleep at so time, you set it, even though they are with their device. So once it's clicked the time, then that's it, the device locks. Once you know that 7 o'clock they should be in bed, even though they are with their device, 7 o'clock comes, the device locks up. They cannot access their device or make use of it, even if it's with them. Yes, Julie, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yes, you are all correct. These are the social media platforms that kids love. And the number one of it is even TikTok. I'm glad I'm seeing everyone saying TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. So yes, we live online. Practically, we live online, as well as adults like to post pictures online. Our own profile also share a lot of personal information, such as our age, our school location, activities we like. Now, unfortunately, this type of information only helps scammers and groomers to manipulate children. With children removing the privacy settings, that leaves a lot of information open on the web for anyone to use. So the first step to helping your children stay safe is understanding ourselves the type of information available on each platform and what privacy setting we can control. We all know you care about your family. We all know we care about your family security online. What affects your child also affects the entire family. So now, what kind of dangers to both your families and your own security exist when participating on online activities? We are going to cover 3 topics here. The first is stranger danger. The second is identity theft. The third is cyber bullying. So stay with me as we go through these 3 topics. So the first one, stranger danger, or online grooming, also known as online grooming, is a word used to describe people befriending children in order to take advantage of them for sexual purposes. You also hear about pedophiles, online predators. They are them, they are the ones. It's easy to pretend to be someone else on the internet. Very easy. Just get a picture of a pretty young girl, create a profile, and that's it. It's very easy. So children can sometimes end up having conversation with people whose real identity they may not know. So let's start by understanding some of the things to look out for. These are the things to look out for. Online grooming may be hard for parents to recognize because it can happen when children are home. Also, groomers may specifically want children not to talk to anyone about it. Yes, they make them remember. Groomers, what they do first is that they gain your child's trust. Once they gain your child's trust, whatsoever they tell your child, they do it. And you see your child keeping secrets. That's where it starts. Online groomers are not always strangers. That's another thing. In many situations, they may already have met them through their family or social activities and use the internet to build rapport with them. Sometimes children don't realize they have been groomed and think that the person is their boyfriend or girlfriend. Sometimes they don't. You may want to investigate further if you see your child exhibiting any of these signs. Being secretive about who they are talking to online, using sexual language you wouldn't expect them to know, and also like when they switch screens when you come near their computer is a cause for alarm. Grooming can be tricky. It can be a tricky subject to talk about. Now, a good way is to say like a good way to start when you want to discuss this with them is to say that you've read a story about this happening and ask them if they know if any of their friends have experienced anything similar. So share the experience that you've read about or you've seen or cases that you've seen, and then hear them respond. Don't put it out to them as if you are trying to interrogate them. No, it should be a conversational process. Now, make sure your child knows that not everyone is who they are, who they say they are. Very important. Make sure that you tell them that. Encourage them to come and talk to you if they are not sure about the identity of someone online. Also, agree on the rules. Agree on the rules. Discuss with your family about where you stand on. Sharing information with strangers online, keeping secrets from parents, and boundaries to individual privacy, sharing pictures of their bodies, houses, and friends, meeting with friends they have not met before. Very, very important that you agree on these rules. Agree, talk about it, discuss it. Like I said, it's a conversational. Remember, you are talking, they are talking, you are coming to an agreement so that they don't feel like as if you're imposing things on them. You need to make them your friend. You need them to report back to you when they see things that makes them feel uncomfortable online. Now, stay engaged. From time to time, review their social media together. You have to review it, open it up, let them go through it, and then you or your family member might want to be their friend online. It's very important. Befriend your kids online. Be their friends online is very, very important. And if you do friend them, watch and observe rather than take part. You have to watch and observe. It's important to know, just like adults, children may be at risk of having their online identity stolen and misused. So we're going to be talking about privacy and identity fraud. It can be difficult to maintain a child's privacy as they may not understand what information is safe to share online or what default privacy settings are on the sites and devices that they are using. So if a child's identity is stolen, it may not be noticed for many years and could in some cases lead to a child being the victim of blackmail, grooming, or bullying. So let's start by understanding some of the things to look out in this topic. You may start to suspect your child's identity has been stolen if, now listen carefully, if you get a bill for something they haven't ordered, start to get emails from an organization they don't recognize, receive any letters regarding government benefits or tax payments. When you start getting messages like that, then there's a code. This is the time to suspect that your child's identity has been stolen. Now, how should I protect my child from identity theft? So these are some of the things to check out. You have to check their online privacy setting. Very important. Go through the privacy settings with your child for every social networking site and apps that they are signed up to. Go through it with them. Agree with them what they will share and with whom. Then check the device settings. Very important. Remember, you first check the privacy setting on all their social media handle and the apps that they use. Now, even down to the device that they are using, you have to also check the settings. And things to look out for are whether they are set up for location services. Very important. Turn it off. Sharing of contact, photos and calendars, Bluetooth sharing, microphone, video, advertising. See our section on the safety page. Go to the of the main device. Go there and then set it up. Also find out if already out there. Set your child's full name. It's very important. Search your child's full name in several search engines and see what information and photographs are public. You can even do it for yourself. Search your name and see what the net is displaying about you. The same thing, do it for your child. Do the same for your child. Then take action and go incognito. Websites on which they appear to remove incorrect comments or photographs. When using public computer, your child can use incognito browsing because it doesn't keep history of the search. It doesn't keep their search history. It doesn't keep it. Excuse me. If your child's identity has been stolen, be sure to tell any affected website about the problem and get your child to log in and change their password immediately. Befriend your kids online. Wash hands. Yes. Befriend your kids online is very, very important because that way you are going to be even though you have family app to review from the back end what they are doing, you're also reviewing as a friend the kind of things that are being displayed on their timeline and the kind of comments people the kind of way people are commenting on their pictures and also on the content that they put out there. So it's very important. Now, personal privacy and security are just as important online as they are offline. Privacy settings needs to be updated across any platform that your children may be using. Most social media platforms that they may be using will have privacy settings that you can update. Okay, now here are some examples of social media platform like you mentioned earlier. Uh, you may be familiar with typically the age limits 13 years. That's the age limit, and they will have privacy settings that you can update to protect their data and digital footprint. Now, as you can see, I wouldn't ask again if you are familiar with this platform because some of you mentioned that when I asked the question. So these are some of the familiar and most popular platforms, social media platform that kids mostly interact with. Now, YouTube is a little different to others in that you can change the private settings on the videos. Open your YouTube app and click on your profile icon to access account menu. Choose your channel. Choose the option button next to any videos, and on the privacy setting, choose between private, unlisted, or public. So, of course, private means only you can see it. Unlisted, those who have the link can see it, and then public, regardless of who has the link or knows your the name of your channel, they'll have access to the video that you're uploading. Then that's set up. Now, talk to your children about setting strong passwords. Very, very crucial. Even if you lock down our security settings, anyone able to hack into your account has total access to all our information. Furthermore, once one account is hacked, a scammer can use this information to influence others. Therefore, one of the best protection against fraud is a strong password. Not all passwords are created equal, and many passwords are easily guessed by hackers. So it's good. It's a good idea for to protect both yours and your child's identity by ensuring that your password match the strong password standard. Now, what are the strong password standard? Make your password unique. Make your password long and more memorable. So use things like phrases. Use phrases. Don't use things that are mostly common to you. Use phrases. Use letters, numbers, and symbols. Avoid using personal information and common words. Yes, we are done. So we are going to be diving into cyber bully. It's a no-no. I've been a victim of cyber bully, and it was a terrible experience. So I don't want anyone, not to talk of kids and teenagers going through that experience, a horrible one. So let's dive into it. It's really important that children who are bullied online know what simple steps they can take to help them to cope and how to ask for support. So we are going to look at some of the do's and some of the don'ts to give you as parents in order to be able to support your children. As you can see, 47% of children interviewed reported experiencing some form of digital harassment. That's high. That's quite high. So I'll ask the question, what do you think cyberbullying is? How is it different to other forms of bullying? Like what do you think it is? And then how is it different from other forms of bullying? Any response to this question? I would like to see some answers. I'd like to see one or two responses. That will make me feel good. So, what do you think cyberbullying is, and then how is it different to other forms of bullying? Any response? Okay. While we wait for that, I will just continue. So, bullying has changed as the digital world encourages more children to take social media and anonymous messaging apps to share their experience and message, and also, of course, manage their relationships. So, cyberbullying differs from traditional bullying in that it just doesn't take place at school, like traditional bullying takes place at school or in the street. It can encroach into the home, right in their room, right? As children spend time online using phone, tablets, and or computers. This is a new form of bullying that many parents are not familiar with. One of the biggest differences between cyberbullying and face-to-face bullying is that it can be hard to get away from. Young people could be bullied anywhere, anytime, even when they're at home, they can be bullied. You'll hear various different words used in the content of cyberbullying, so it helps to know what each of these terms means, like harassment. Harassment means targeting an individual or group with persistent and offensive message, which could develop into cyber stalking. Outing. Outing means publicly sharing personal, private, or embarrassing information, photos or videos about someone online. Then trolling. Deliberately posting provocative and insulting message about sensitive subjects or inflicting racism on an individual. Now, bans. Not really serious about it. Kids could be cruel but get away with it by saying it was just bans or it was just fun. It's just fun. Then roasting, ganging up on an individual online and sending offensive abuse until the victim is seen to crack. Then grieving, abusing and angering people through online gaming. This is very tough because a lot of kids they play games, so we need to watch out for this. So what to look out for? What are the things to look out for? These are the things that you can look out for. You may start to suspect your child is being bullied online. The fact is, the more time children spend online, the more chances they have of having a negative experience at some point. About half of all cyberbullying comes from someone known to the victim. And it's important to know what to look out, and just as important to know how to have conversation about it. So, if you become aware that your child is being cyberbullied, there are a number of things you should aim to do right away. So, I will mention the do's and also the don'ts. So, find out why. Very important. Try and establish the facts around the incident and keep an open mind. Talk it through. Talk about the bloodline between uploading and sharing content because it's funny or might get lots of likes versus the potential to cause offense or hurt. Of course, teach by example, model and encourage positive behavior in your child, and praise them as they take this on board. It's very important. Praise them, acknowledge them, and then learn from it. Avoid all help, above all, help your child learn from what has happened. Think about what you could do differently as a parent or as a family, and share your learning with other parents and carers. Now, what are the don'ts? Don't get upset. Please don't get upset. Stay calm when discussing it with your child, and try to talk with other adults to walk through any emotions you have about the situation, and don't ignore it. Take the situation serious and don't blame anyone else. Remember, don't get upset, don't blame anyone, don't ignore it, don't condone it at the same time. If your child was cyberbullying in retaliation, you should tell them that two wrongs cannot make a right, and it will just encourage the bully's behavior. Don't take away their devices. Please don't use it as a punishment. This could make the situation worse, and encourage them to find other ways to get online. They will always look for other ways to get online. So taking away their device only makes it worse. Now, what are some ways you could bring up bullying with your child? Like, whether they are being bullied or their friends are being bullied, what are some ways you can do that before we dive into from all that we've learned? What are some ways that you could bring up bullying with your kid? You can share experiences. There are cases out there. There are cases of cyberbullying out there. You can read up and share with them, and then share the consequences of bullying and bullying, and also being bullied with them, and then of course give them advice and let them know what to do. And if they experience any of such, they should always come to you. Now, any questions before we move on? Any questions? So because of our time, we'll just have to continue. Now, tips and resources. And these are some of the resources available, just to, if you need to refer back to some of the things that we've discussed. You can go to safety.google. It helps helping children to be smart, confident explorers of the online world. And of course, Be Internet Awesome. They have 5 fundamental topics of digital citizenship and safety form. The Internet Code of Awesome. I call them the 5 Internet Code of Awesome. Be smart, be alert, be internet smart, be internet alert, be internet strong, be internet kind, be internet brave. And of course, be internet smart talks about sharing with care. The internet alert talks about don't fall for fake. Be internet strong talks about secure your secrets, like your passwords. Be internet kind talks about it's cool to be kind. It's really, really very cool. Be internet brave. When in doubt, talk it out. So you can my colleague is going to put up the link if you need to learn more about Be Internet Awesome. And of course, the Interland, it's a game that helps children. It's a game that helps children to practice skills. They need to be confident online. So it's an awesome game. They will be playing the game and as well learning how to explore the internet confidently. And then you can visit also Digital Wellbeing Family Guide, the wellbeing.google.family slash family slash determine slash. This will help you. It helps you to talk about technology with your family. So you learn a lot so that you can also talk about technology with your family. So now it's important not to bury our heads in sand about technology. When parents say they don't do social media or don't get Snapchat, it's a kind leaving children to cross a busy road without training. And so parents are missing golden opportunity to keep children safe and informed. Experts, now this is experts talking, they recommend we become digital moms. It's very important. Become digital moms, become digital dads, and navigate the online world alongside your children. It's very, very important. Now, we've covered a lot. We've covered a lot today. Although it's a lot to take in, there are plenty of resources available to you to reinforce the learning from today and offer extra helpful tips and guidelines. Like I mentioned earlier, digital friend family well-being guide. It provides information, discussion points, and activities for you to help set ground rules with your children about device use, finding positive content, responsible use of social media, and most importantly, provides opportunity for you to talk about these issues with your children. And of course, YouTube for kids. We talked about YouTube for kids, and we said that it's an app specifically designed for kids, and it makes it easier for children and parents to find content that they are interested in. And of course, my favorite Family Link guide. The guide setting up Family Link, of course, understanding how to control and setting all the things that you need to be in charge of the online activities of your kids. And then fishing quiz. It's an interesting game that tests your ability to check if content is real or spam. This is just as useful for parents as well as children. So you can visit fishingquiz.withgoogle.com slash. My colleague will help put up these resources on the chat box for your access. So, what are your key takeaway from this section? I would like everyone still online to type in what are your key takeaway from this section? What are your key takeaway from this section? I would like to get some responses. We're almost done. In fact, we are actually done. What are the key takeaway from this section? What are the key takeaway from this section? It would be nice if I can see some responses. What are the key takeaway from this section? What was the highlight of it for you all through for the past 1 hour we've been on this? What stood out for you? What stood out for you? Which section did you enjoy the most? What was your key takeaway from this section? I would love to hear. I would love to see that in the chat box. I would love to see that in the chat box. And of course, for more resources, and also for further learning, like I said earlier, you can visit Google Safety. There are heaps of articles and advice for how to be safe online, including practical security advice, practical privacy tips, tips for sharing responsibility, and of course, there's also a Nigeria police number there that you can reach out, and also Safer Internet. We call them web rangers. It's also a digital literacy project designed to allow young people to gain critical skills and knowledge about around online safety. So here, this brings us to the end of the training, and I would love to appreciate everyone for staying through till the end. It's always an honor having to train parents on how to maximize their safety online in order to help their kids also stay safe online. So if there are any further questions, I will take them now. Are there any questions with regards to all that we've learned today, with regards to all that we've discussed today, starting from all the useful resources that Google have out there? Go and interact with them. Visit Wellbeing, visit Google Safety, safety.google. There's so much to learn there, and also to reinforce your learning, and because I'm sure there's so much content have been released this evening. So if you want to refresh your memory, kindly visit safety.google, and of course you learn. But if there are any other pressing questions that you want us to discuss here and now, um, kindly send it in the chat box, and I will see it. All right. In the absence of that, all right. In the absence of that, any questions? Any questions? Any questions? any questions? All right. Thank you all for joining in once again. I'm really grateful. And I hope that all that we've learned, we are going to put them in practice because, like I said, we are in all this together. Together, we can make the cyberspace safe for everyone, for the generation that is coming, for those that we have here, for our children. Together, we can make it safe. And the way we can make it safe is when we put all that we've learned today into practice. Thank you all once again and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.